Hey guys, Ultra52 here. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about something that has been quite the talk the past couple days now. And it is, should Dragon Ball FighterZ be released on the Nintendo Switch? Now this kind of topic kind of got us stirred up at E3. Someone apparently approached the developers of the game and said, oh well, like, why is there not a Switch version of the game? Can it not handle it or something, or what's up? And the developers replied with, basically, it's not that FighterZ cannot run on the Switch. Like, the Switch can run FighterZ fine. It's just the fan base. If the fan base wants a port of Dragon Ball FighterZ on the Switch, then we will consider doing it. And that's essentially, you know, like, the whole stir now. And there's a lot of people out there. Apparently now there's like a hashtag, like Twitter, like Bandai Namco's Twitter pages, like they're all blowing up with like people who are saying like they want the game and people who don't want the game. So I'm gonna give my little 2 cents on the whole entire matter, if it should be released on the Nintendo Switch. Now please know, there are some people who do want it on the Switch and some who do not. Now, I am one of those people who personally do think that this game should not be released on the Switch. I'm not saying that because I am not a Nintendo fan. I own a Nintendo 3DS. I have a really large handful of Nintendo DS and 3DS games, so I enjoy playing Nintendo games. I just really hate a lot of the business decisions that Nintendo does, especially with the NES Mini halting production. That was, without a doubt, the stupidest business decision Nintendo has ever made. Now, I should also like to mention is that for those of you who do want the game to get released and are tweeting to Bandai Namco about this, that doesn't necessarily guarantee the game being ported to the Switch, because it's coming out first on PC via Steam, Xbox One, and PS4. So if a Switch version is confirmed, it's going to happen later. So it's not going to happen like right away. It's going to happen later on in the future. Now, I'm not saying the Switch cannot handle FighterZ. I know for a fact it can. The only game I would say that just recently came out that the Switch cannot handle, no matter what happens, is Tekken 7. There's just way too much in Tekken 7 for the Switch to handle, and I can possibly guarantee it would probably brick just at the title screen. That's more of an exaggeration, but whatever. Now, again, even if we do, and I like a little note sheet here, talk about some stuff here, is that even if we do say, hey, we want this game, it's still Bandai Namco and Arc System's final decision to greenlight that. It's more of Arc System to do it, but it's still their final say. They have the final say if they want to do one or not. So if we all say yes, we want this, and they don't do it, we essentially just did it for absolutely nothing. Now again, I'm one person of many who do not want a Switch port. It's definitely not needed, which leads me into my first thing that I want to talk about, is that the Switch really isn't the console for competitive play. If you want to get good at a game like this, you would want to play it competitively. The game is strictly based upon being a competitive tournament fighter. That's essentially one of the reasons why this game is why they're trying to make the game go to big tournaments like EVO. So the Switch really isn't the console to be competitive on. I know there is a fight stick or an arcade stick released on the Switch. I think it's already out, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. The company that has made the fight stick has also done fight sticks for PS4, PS3, 360, Xbox One, and PC as well. So they're pretty reliable. Like, I've heard like nothing but good things about them. But the only downside is that they're really expensive, like between $150 to $200 I've seen them go for. So they're really expensive fight sticks. But also the Switch doesn't really have any games that really warrant the whole competitive side of it. I know there is a Switch port of Smash Bros, the Wii U Smash Bros, but that you can't really play that with a fight stick, so I don't really see the point of you using a fight stick for that game. Plus you would use the Pro controller or the GameCube controller for Smash Bros, so why would you really need a fight stick for it? There's also Ultra Street Fighter 2. That game would definitely benefit from a fight stick, but you can still play with a regular Pro controller, so it's pretty easy to play with just a regular Pro controller. And there's also Pokken Tournament, the new Pokken Tournament that's coming out soon. Pokken Tournament DX, I think it's called. I forget. That one would definitely benefit from a fight stick. I think it would feel a lot better with a fight stick because I believe that because I'm pretty sure that Pokken Tournament was originally a arcade game and it did have a arcade stick, so it would definitely benefit from one of those. But as for the Switch, I don't really because unless you want to take your arcade stick with you, like on to go to play the Switch at the park or whatever, I don't really see that happening. But for competitive play-wise, the Switch really is not that console to do so. Play any BlazBlue or Guilty Gear game. It's not that easy to pull off combos with a regular controller. It's definitely possible to do so. It's just a little bit difficult with a fight pad or a actual arcade stick. It is much easier, it's much more fluent, it feels better for people who have played with arcade sticks or played with fighting games with arcade sticks in the past. So if you have played like BlazBlue or any of the Guilty Gear games, then you definitely would want to play it with a fight stick. Now, excuse me. The second thing I want to talk about is that, let's say, let's say that 100% of the fans say, yes, we want this to come out. And the game officially does come out, but that being said, that will make the game, that'll make the developers think that, okay, all these fans want it to come out, and there's a fly coming out here. That'll make the developers say that, okay, look, we really want, like, it's gonna sell well, like it's gonna sell really, really well. That's what they're gonna believe from all the feedback they get. Now, once the game does come out, how much of that 100% actually owns a Switch? Or how many people own a Switch by the time the game comes out? So you also have to target the general audience too of what this game is supposed to be. The game is for DBZ fans and people who want to play the game competitively. Unless you want to play the game, with a friend and not really give a shit, then yeah, then you would be with that. But for a game like this, it's mostly targeted for people who want to play competitively and DBZ fans. Me personally, I'm not really a competitive person, but I like playing these games online just to see if I can get better and get to a competitive level, but I'm not that much into competitive play. But what if, but again, how much of that 100% of the fan base actually owns a Switch? Not everyone owns a Switch. I've seen people tweet out that they would double dip on this game. Like, if they own a Switch and a PS4, they would buy both. Which, the only reason people would buy the Switch version is for the whole portability sake. Which, I understand that, but there are other portable DBZ games, and I'll elaborate on that in a minute. But again, how much of that owns, how many people own a Switch? Now, by the time that the game does come out, the Switch will definitely have sold millions more units. But also at the same time, that's also assuming that Microsoft and Sony don't sell anything by then, which means they cannot sell a single console by the time that the Switch port comes out. But that's obviously never going to happen. Every single day, Microsoft and Sony is selling either an Xbox One or a PS4. Like, it's happening every single day. Someone's buying one. So, but there are some people who do own a PS4, Xbox One, and a Switch, who own a Switch and one of the other two consoles. So, and again, that's the whole point of the Switch, is the whole portability of it. But with me, I don't really portable game that much. I'm always, whenever I'm on the road for work, about once or twice every month or two, I bring my DS to play. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I apologize. But if the game does come out and it doesn't sell well, that's also going to potentially hurt the relationship between the fan base and the developers of the game, because they essentially got a little bit greedy and thought that the game was going to sell well, when in fact it really didn't. But that's, again, this is all entirely my opinion, my beliefs. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Again, this is entirely what this is essentially what a opinion is. I'm giving my 2 cents about something. Now onto the whole portable aspect. People again give the argument that it's Dragon Ball Z on the go, which I understand that. I completely do. But there are other portable DBZ games that are not console level, but are still really fun to play regardless. But since when does a portable game need to be console level specifically in order to be fun? There's a plethora of Dragon Ball Z games that are portable to play that are not console level, but they're really fun to play. There's the Legacy of Goku 1 and 2, Super Sonic Warriors 1 and 2, Extreme Butoden, Dragon Ball Fusion, and Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai 1 and 2. Those are all really fun games to play, but they're not console level. But again, they're still really fun to play. It just goes to show you that as the old saying goes, better graphics don't make a better game. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning part of the video, but if the Switch runs on the Unreal 4 engine, so if the game does come out on the Switch, it's gonna have to take a downgrade in terms of graphic wise just to uphold the 60 frames per second. So instead of it being 1080p like on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, on the Switch it's probably going to end up being 720p HD, which is still really good. That's not bad. But anyways, that's my little two cents on the entire matter. I also find it funny how people are wanting this game to get released on the Switch, but not any other fighting game. Like I've heard no talk of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for a Switch port, mainly because I don't think for that one, like, a lot of people can see why it wouldn't work on Switch. So there is that. But yeah, I find it like really funny how there are how there's no talk about other fighting games being released on Switch. Like no one gives a shit now about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, because FighterZ kind of stole the whole entire show of E3 at least. Well, not really, but it definitely blew away Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Even though I'm still really excited for Infinite, I'm much more excited for FighterZ now. But I still will play Infinite because I love the Marvel vs. Capcom series. But anyways, yeah, that is my 2 cents on the whole entire matter, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Again, this is my opinion on the entire thing, and at the end of the day, my opinion does not matter. I'm just some guy in the vast majority of people in the fighting game community who just wants to say my 2 cents about this whole entire matter. So again, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Subscribe, leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. So hope you guys all enjoyed, and sayonara.